Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first orientation webinar. My name is Christy Swift, and I will be talking to you today about a few things on how to access the training for orientation in Phase 5. We have So there are a few things for us to look at today in the training. The first was around the number of participants. If you are not able to participate in this call, there is a live streaming on YouTube. And you should be able to access it on YouTube. So in Phase 5, all assistants are being asked to complete the training by the end of July. So by the end of July, the training that you need to do for Phase 5 needs to be completed. We're also asking at the end of every month that you complete a survey, and we can talk a little bit more later on about what that survey looks like. In addition to the training that needs to be done by the end of July, and also the monthly surveys that you're being asked to complete, there will also be webinars held every 2 months. And the webinars are really an amazing opportunity to hear from speakers all around South Africa. Some have been assistants in the program. Others are, have started their own businesses, and really a great opportunity to start thinking about what is the next step in your future working career. So if these 6 months are an opportunity for you to get work experience in schools, how do you take that experience and convert it into the best opportunity for future work? On the Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot, and we'll talk about that just now as well, there's a lot of information in addition to the training. So there are things around work readiness, how to build a CV, interview tips. All of that information is on the WhatsApp bot. And then there's also information about conflict resolution, so how to get along with your colleagues, how to make the best of this opportunity. There's information about exit opportunities. So that's what we call how you are able to think about the next step. So whether it's something like a letter of participation, so that's a letter that says that you have been part of the BEEI program, or if it's about funding opportunities, if you have an enterprise idea, or if it's about bursaries, all of that information is in the exit opportunities. So that's opportunities that sit inside the Teacher Connect site as well as on partner side. The FAQs, so there are lots of questions that assistants have asked from Phase 1 all the way now through to Phase 5. So that is available for you on the Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot. And there's also live support. So there are people who look at the WhatsApp bot and they can respond to your messages, but there's also an email support that you can send a message to, and I'll share that email number with you now. And then finally, there is the ability for you as assistants to share your story. So photos, voice notes, videos, or text upload of anything that you might be experiencing on a day-to-day basis. So we really want to hear from you. We want you to share your day with us. We want you to share your BEI experience with us. And all of this is on the Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot. So today, we're going to look at how to register, how to change your assistant type, how to reset your profile, what training is required for your assistant type, how to find your certificate, and then how to change your certificate details. There's also information about general support and content. So this is what we're going to be looking at today. This session is going to run 3 times a week until the end of July. So it'll be the same session today, tomorrow, and on Thursday. It runs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday until the end of July. So there are 15 different opportunities for you to come on here. If you have a question or if you're stuck with something and if you need a refresher, you can come onto this call and you can then have a refresher on how to access the training, how to get your certificate, what certificates you need, and how to change your certificate details. So on a Tuesday, the calls are at 2. On a Wednesday, the call is at 11. On a Thursday, the call is at 2. They are each 1 hour long, and we will run through the training material, and then we will open up for Q&A. So you can see on the WhatsApp bot, you aren't able to open your mic or open your camera. You can, however, post questions in the Q&A. So if you have a question, please, there are people who are looking at the Q&A. Please respond and write down your questions there. We will have a time to answer them. And if we aren't able to answer them on camera, we will respond with an email and you can get the answers that way. But please, if you have a question, put it in the Q&A. That's why we're here. We want to hear what your questions are and how we can support you. If your question wasn't answered, please send an email to us. Our email address is beei@ecubed-dbe.org. So that's beei@ecubed-dbe.org. It's there at the bottom of the screen if I'm speaking a little bit too quickly, but that email address is available to you. And as I mentioned, this session will run 3 times a week. So on a Tuesday at 2, on a Wednesday at 11, or a Thursday at 2. Your district coordinators have the link for the session. So every time there's a new session, the link will change. So your district coordinators will be able to give you the links. So that is how you will find the link for these sessions. But there are 15 different sessions that you can go and access on how to do the training. But again, today, what we're going to look at is how to register, changing your assistant type, resetting your profile, what training is required for your assistant type, how to find your certificate, and how to change your certificate details, and then the other general support and content that's available. So let's jump straight into it. In phase 5, we're asking all assistants to go to the WhatsApp bot to do the training. So on your phone, please open up your contacts and type in that number 060 060 3333. Then you save that as Teacher Connect. You can see here on the screen in the phone there, it says Teacher Connect by E3. Save your contact as Teacher Connect. Then go into WhatsApp and send the word hi to that number. If you have a QR code reader, you are able to just snap the QR code here that's on the screen, and that will take you directly to the WhatsApp bot. You can see the little video here playing is showing you how you can register, but before you register, you need to send in that word hi to 060 060 3333. Now, I know some assistants have done the training previously because you have been part of phases before. Even if you have been part of a previous phase, you must redo all the training. So you can't use your previous certificates for phase 5. In phase 5, you will need to do the certificates again. And I will show you how to reset your profile for you to be able to do that. So since the training is being done on WhatsApp, these are 2 things that are important. Please, you need to have access to your own phone. you won't be able to share phones because it will recognize you every time you come back. So you will need to have WhatsApp on a phone that is unique to you, and then you will need Wi-Fi or data to connect to do the training. The training is very light. It doesn't use a lot of data, but you do need data to connect. And as I mentioned before, so if you want to connect, you can either take a snapshot of this QR code if you have a QR code reader on your phone. Otherwise, please save the number 060 060 3333, and you can save it as Teacher Connect on your phone. Then you WhatsApp the word hi, and that's how you start. So just as you're seeing here on the screen, says say hi, you WhatsApp this word hi to 060 060 3333, and that is how you start to get access to your training. So before you register, there are a few things that you're going to need when you're going to register. The first is the name, so the first name that you want on your certificate, and then your surname. Now I'll show you what that looks like. We don't ask for that. You don't put them all together. You first put in your first name, and then afterwards you put in your surname. You also need your EMIS number. So every school has a unique number. It's called an EMIS number. You must have your EMIS number. This allows us to report back on which assistants have done the training. So we don't want you to do the training and then it doesn't go into the report. So please, you must know your EMIS number before you do the training. And if you don't know your EMIS number, your teacher mentor or your principal can give you your EMIS number. So that's number 2. Then number 3 is you need to be allocated. So you need to know what kind of assistant you are. So either you are a reading champion, or you are an ECADER, or you are care and support, or you are a workshop or laboratory assistant, or sports and enrichment, or curriculum assistant, or a handy person. You need to know what type of assistant you are. So before you register, you need to think, okay, this is the name that I want on my certificate. You have an opportunity to write your first name, and then you have an opportunity to write your surname. Only those 2, you can't write anything else. Then you need to know your EMIS number, and then you need to know your assistant type. In addition to that, we also are asking for your email address and your ID number. So this WhatsApp bot belongs to the Department of Basic Education. It is the DBE's WhatsApp bot. So all of this information is stored very securely. It's not used by anybody to do anything. We ask for your email and your ID number so that we can verify you against the list. So there's a list of all verified assistants, and we use those details to verify you against the list. I see a couple of people who are putting their hands up. Please, if you have a question, write your question into the Q&A block, and then we can respond to it. We'd love to hear from you, so please feel free to write your question into the Q&A box. At the bottom of your screen, you should see something that says Q&A. Click on that and you'll be able to type in your question. So you've got your name, you've got your surname, you've got your EMIS number, your assistant type, your email address, your ID number, and then we're going to ask you to say something that we call an opt-in. So this is a message that you'll get when you register, and it says, do you give us permission to send you messages about breaking news or exit opportunities or something like that? We would love it if you said yes. If you say yes, please message me. Then those things that I spoke about in the beginning of the call, like the webinars, bursary opportunities, funding opportunities, anything that we find that might be of interest to you, we can send to you. If you say no, we won't be able to send you that information. So those are the things that we're asking for in the beginning. Now I'm going to play a quick video here to show you what that looks like. And I'm going to pause this. I see that the hands are being raised. Please, if you have a question, put your question in the Q&A box and we can respond to it there. So you can look at the video on my screen. See there, I've said hi. This says, welcome to Teacher Connect Chat. We're here to bring inspiring tips. To get started, tap next. So then what you need to do is you click on this next button. So just like I'm doing here in the video, I've clicked next there. Now you have a privacy policy. So because we are POPIA compliant, because we make sure that your data is saved securely, that it is stored securely, we need you to say yes, that you are accepting the terms and conditions. If you say no, you cannot continue with the training. You have to say yes if you want to do the training. There is a link there that you can click on that link and it will open and it will show you what the terms and conditions are. So you are welcome to read it. But because of POPIA, which is the government law around how your privacy and your information is stored and managed, we must have you say yes to accepting the terms and conditions. Please put all your questions in the Q&A box and we can respond to them. So just before then, let me go back and show you. So you can see here, I've said yes to accepting the terms and conditions. Now what you want to do is you want to select what kind of role you are. So the first thing you see here is BEEI assistant. You must click BEEI assistant. Please, if you're not a teacher, don't click teacher. If you're not a principal, don't click principal. Don't click learner. Don't click official or other. If you are a BEEI assistant, click this one. The first one you see here is the one that you need to click. Right, now you've clicked I'm a BEEI assistant. Now you want to type in your first name. This is the name that you want to have on your certificate. So if you have a middle name, so if you have first name, a second name, and a surname, then this is where you put your first two names. Don't put your surname here. Don't put your ID number here. Don't type in anything else. Only put your name in that you want on the certificate. So this is your first name. So you put your first name in here. Then after that, you're going to put your surname in here. These are the two names that will be on your certificate. So please be careful about how you spell them. Please be careful about using a capital letter at the beginning. If you get this wrong, you have one opportunity to change it. You don't have any other opportunities to change it. You only have that one chance. So please be very careful when you do write your name and your surname, that you make sure that it is the name and the surname as per your ID book that you want to use the certificate for. So if you wanted to put a second name in here, so if you've got a second name, you would say Jen, then second name, and then your surname would be Stratum. But don't put your surname up here at the front. Make sure that you first put your first name in, and then you wait, and then it'll ask you what is your surname, and then you put your surname in. So once you've done your first name and your surname, this is when the opt-in comes in. So this is when we want you to say, yes, please message me. I'm happy for you to send me information. If you don't want to know about webinars or exit opportunities or bursary opportunities, there is no pressure. You do not have to say yes. But if you want to hear about the opportunities over the next 5 months, please, would you say yes, you can message me. Then once you've said that, now we want to know what type of assistant you are. So this is when you choose. Are you a curriculum, reading champion, care and support, handy person, sport and enrichment, laboratory, workshop, or e-cater? So you then need to choose which one you are. So you have to be allocated first. Once you have chosen that, you press enter. So here we've chosen reading champion. And then that is how you will register. Okay. I'm just going to move forward. So you can see here, we're going to ask for your EMIS number. Please, this example here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is an example. You need to get your EMIS number from your teacher mentor or your principal if you don't have it yet. And then please put in your email address. This is how we will be able to verify you against the list that we have, that the department has. So we need your EMIS number, your email address, and then your ID number. Okay, once you've done this, this is what you will look at. You will get to BEEI homepage. Now, if you have been an assistant, only if you have been an assistant in a previous phase, or maybe you by mistake registered as a teacher, or by mistake you registered as a learner, you need to do something called reset your profile. So all you do is you type in the word Teacher Connect chat, and then it'll reset your Teacher Connect clear. See here, it says Teacher Connect clear. I've just typed that in, and then it says your profile has been reset. So just make sure that you type this in. It needs to be one word, no spaces. And once you've typed in Teacher Connect clear and you see this message, your profile has been reset, then you can use the word hi. The word hi will start all the conversations on the WhatsApp bot. So if you ever get stuck, you can't remember where you are, you need to start again, just type in the word hi, and then it'll take you back to the menu. But if you have been a previous assistant, if you think that you registered with the wrong, so maybe you registered as a teacher, you didn't register as a BEI assistant, you're going to type in this Teacher Connect clear, make sure that it is one word and that there are no spaces. And then you're going to wait for this message that says your profile has been reset. And then you're going to type in the word hi. This means you start again. You have to go back to the beginning and you redo the registration. Now, if you're getting a bit confused, don't worry. You can always email us afterwards at the BEEI@ecubed-dbe.org email address, and we'll put it into the chat just now for you. And we can send you this information if it is getting a little bit too confusing. But if you have been an assistant before, you need to reset your profile before you register. Now let's look at the registration. We're going to do this again together. So I'm just going to go through this with you. I'm going to type in the word hi. Then I'm going to say next. Okay, now this is giving me the privacy policy. So this is the privacy policy. If you click on it, this is what it looks like. And you can read this document and you can see everything that your data is being used for. So I've read through it. I'm happy. I say yes, I accept. Now I want to choose what role am I? So I'm going to choose. In this instance, I'm going to choose district. But on your side, you're going to choose something else. Now we're going to put in our first name. Now remember, you can't put your first name and second name together, or first name and surname together. You must put your first name in first, and then afterwards you put in your surname. So don't put them together. Don't put your ID number in here. Just put exactly your first name and then afterwards your surname. Just like here. So I've said yes, you can message me, and that is how we do the registration. If when you're registering, you have to choose your assistant type. If you have made a mistake and you want to change your role, so see here it says hi Christy. I'm going to show you that again. Remember I said to you the word that you need to remember is hi. If you want to access anything on Teacher Connect, you just type in the word hi. So you put in hi there. Now it's going to give you a menu. See, it says, hi, welcome to the home of everything you need to know about BEI. Choose one of the options. Tap below. So it says tap here. I'm going to click there with my finger, or if you've got another way that you want to browse, you just tap here at the bottom. And on the list here, you'll see it says change my role. So if you wanted to go and do the training, you go click here for training. If you want to do work readiness, you would click here for work readiness, FAQs, the surveys, webinars, sharing your story. So this helps you with how you want to share a video or anything about your day-to-day. But if you registered, maybe you thought you were a reading champion, but now you know that you're a handy person, you click here, change my role. So we'll just go back quickly. You type in hi, then it gives you the page. Then you want to say tap here at the bottom, and then you want to say change my role. So you click there. Now it says, please select your correct assistant role by tapping on the list below to find options and select the one that is you. So you want to tap on the list. Now I'm going to choose sports and enrichment. This says thank you. Tap below to continue. So I'm going to click this next. And now it goes back here. It says, based on your assistant type, this is the training you need to complete. Am I ready to start the training? Yes, I'm ready to start. So that is how you change your role. I'm going to go through that one more time with you, just so that you can have a look. So the universal word, if you need to get anything on Teacher Connect, is hi. Just as I said, as I started this call, then I'm going to tap on the menu. I'm going to choose change my role. It's going to ask me now to tap again. So now I'm going to choose what kind of assistant I am. I'm sports and enrichment. Then I want to go and do my training. So I click training, and now we go. And that is how you change your role. So if you've been an assistant before, you need to reset your profile, and that's how you use Teacher Connect here. But if you've done the registration right, you just maybe thought you were one kind of assistant and now you know you're another kind of assistant, what you want to do is change your role. This is how you do it. You type hi, you look for change your role, and then you change your role just like I've just shown you on the screen. So once you register and you share your details, you will be given a training module that you need to complete. Now, you only need to complete the list that is shared with you. So if you choose that you are an ECADER, you will only need to complete the training that is there under the list for ECADER. If you choose that you are a curriculum, you will only need to complete the training that is there for curriculum. One thing on this is that the training for ECADER, the training for workshop assistant, the training for laboratory assistant, and the training for sports and enrichment. For those, you need to do orientation, and in the future, there will be some more training for you. So when you do your registration and you say, yes, please message me, when that new training is ready, we will send you a message to say the new training is ready. But that training is coming in the next 2 weeks. So ECADER, sport and enrichment, workshop, and laboratory assistant, there will be new training for you. In the meantime, you must do orientation. Everybody in phase 5 must do orientation, and then there are different training modules depending on your assistant type, but everybody must finish the orientation. I will show you what the orientation looks like shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'll share it with you shortly. But let's finish this first, and then I will show you how that training works. Once you have finished your training, you will get a certificate. It's automatically generated. So you can see here, I've just hit something, it says, oops, I'm not sure where to go. I go back to the BEEI menu. I click list. Let me go to training. Am I ready to start? Yes. Now you can download your certificate. So I click get certificate, and you'll see the picture there comes up. This is my certificate right there. So what I can do with this certificate is I can save it, I can email it to myself, I can forward it. It's got the date that I completed the certificate. It's got my first name, it's got my surname, because this is what I use to register. And it tells what kind of training this is. So this tells me that I did the orientation training. That is how you get it. It's automatically generated. If you have completed the training, the certificate will be there. In the same way that I just showed you how to reset how to change your role. So on the list on the menu, there's a whole lot of information about certificates, and I'll show you a little video on that now. But this is where you get your certificate. It's straight after you have done the training. So it's a good idea once you've done the training and it comes through, then you know, like, do you want to save it somewhere? So this here, you can see I've got my certificate, and now it says, what else do I want to do? Do I want to do more training? Do I want to look at work readiness? So we spoke about work readiness, or do I want to update my name? So let's say, for example, I've decided that my name is not Christy, that my name is actually Barbara. I can edit my name, or you can email us here. This is the email address that I spoke about, BEEI@Ecubed. Okay, and then we can help you with how to edit your certificate. So that's what you can do there. There's also a lot of information we spoke about earlier about information around the softer skills. So this is the information that you can get about how to be an assistant, what skills you're learning. So even though these certificates aren't necessarily a certification, you are still learning valuable things that will help you in this work experience. So things like time management, things like teamwork, responsibility. These are important things that employers will look for. And so this content here will help you understand how you can communicate that for your future employer. So there's information around assistance, skills, making the most of this opportunity, wellness, workplace tips. And I'm just going to play you a short video. You can see the kinds of information. So I've looked there about wellness. So it's very important that you take care of yourself whilst you are in the schools. You are incredibly important. And so making sure that you are healthy, making sure that you are as happy as possible is very important. And there's some information here on how to do that. There's information on journaling. So go and have a look there when you want to find out information. There are also FAQs. So I'd mentioned that there are FAQs that have been generated from phase 1 through to phase 4. So again, I typed in hi, that's our universal key. And now I'm going to click FAQs. FAQs there are many FAQs. So there's information about employment, there's information about surveys, exit opportunities. There's a lot of information here. So you can see here, I'm going to look at, there was information about applications. So if you needed help with your application process, that is on the FAQs as well. This information is about your employment conditions. So If you want to know more information about your contracts, for example, this is where you can look. So you can look at information about your stipend, about what the amount is, what the deductions are, what UIF is, when you'll get your pay slips. There's a whole lot of information in there, including information about your data that you'll get every month. There's also a link to the stipend calculation guide. So that information is there for you if you want to have more detail on it. So that's under FAQs. There's also information here. I had mentioned the exit opportunities, but here if you want to get help, so if you need to report mistreatment as an example, or if you have an escalation of sorts, all this information is there. These are the numbers you can contact. You can email the DBE. There's the anti-corruption hotline. You can contact the presidential hotline, or you can email the presidency. All of that information sits in the FAQs, as well as the grievance process there. So please, if you need help, that's where you can get it. Or if you want to, please always feel free to email us. That's BEI@ecubed-DBE.org, and we will also then point you in the right direction. So if you ever need help, FAQs are your first port of call. Otherwise, go through and email us, and we'll be able to help you further. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. I'm going to have a look at the Q&A box, and I'm going to see if there's anything that we might need to answer. So I'm going to open the Q&A box now. I see that there's a question here about Lesedi. That is the Digify platform. So let me get the Digify email address and we can send it through to you. So the sessions this week are going to be on login content, or will we go through the different content for each of the Zoom sessions? So Roel, thank you for that question. I'm going to go through now some training, just a little bit of an intro into what the training looks like. But the training will depend on what kind of assistant you are. So it's not going to be, so you're not going to have the run through in detail of all, have the detail of all the different content pieces, but we are going to go through training on one of the courses now. I'm going to share that with you once we've gone through the Q&A. And then we are going to do the same thing. So every single session, we are doing the same thing. So tomorrow we will run through the same thing. Thursday, we will run through the same thing. And then next week, we will run through the same thing. So do we expect to have other training for eCater? Yes, we do, but we don't have that information yet, unfortunately. But please do opt in to receive messages. And if we get the training, then we will let you know. So can I restart my training? Yes, you can. You lost session 1 and 2, and when you tried, it showed lesson 3. So you can restart your training. I think maybe reset your profile and go back in, or just see if you can get to the back button. But Colleen, maybe what you can do is email us your specific information here at BEI@ecubed-DBE.org. And then you should be able to, we'll be able to help you further. The training for curriculum is 5 certificates. So there is a list of all the training that you need to do on the bot. I will put that link in afterwards. I thank you, Jen. I see you're responding to that. So Mopone, you've asked about putting your second name on the certificate. I will show you now how you edit your certificate. You only have one chance to edit your certificate. So if you register and you think that you've done something that you need to change, you have one opportunity to change that. But I'll show you now, Mopone, on how you can edit your certificate. So Lakia, you answered something around the training. I see Jen is responding to you. Nomzamo, you asked, instead of WhatsApp, do we have a link that you can use? No, you must do your training on WhatsApp. So that is where you need to do your training. So RJ, you asked, some certificates don't have a date. RJ, it's not a problem. Just do the certificate. They should all have a date. If you don't see that, please send us an email and show us exactly which one you don't have a date to, and we can see if we can help you. When does the training start? So Malvina, you've asked us. The training is already live. So the training started in May, and you have until the end of July to do your training. So Dineo, please, if you have questions around your payment, please go and speak to your principal. There was a media release yesterday about the payments being released in batches. But if you have questions around your payments, please speak to your principal. Kitametse, you said you missed the information on how to reset or update your name on the certificate. I'll do that right now. We'll have a run through again. Keith, you said you're struggling to upload assistance details. Keith, I think that question is best dealt with your district coordinator or your provincial coordinator if you need to speak to them. Otherwise, Keith, please feel free to email us more details at that BEI email address, and then we can help you further. So Malofo, you asked how many questions. I see Jen is going to respond to you. She'll give you the link that you can use to see how many you need to respond to. Zandile, the presentation. So there is no presentation here, but you are welcome to come back to any of the other live training. So that is tomorrow or Thursday. So tomorrow the training is at 11 a.m. So Mpo, you're asking, is the training at the same time? So the training is tomorrow at 11. And then on Thursday, the training is at 3. The content will be the same. So you might ask different questions. We can always answer that, but the content is generally the same. So Krishana, you're asking about training for care and support. There is training for care and support. So for care and support, you need to do the care and support training, and you also need to do the orientation. So for you, there are 2. Pierre, I see your question. Please, Pierre, can you send any payment queries to your principal? They will be able to help you understand when that payment will be made. Diani, you need to ask, if you don't have your EMIS number, you must ask your teacher mentor or ask your principal. They will give you your EMIS number. So you need your EMIS number before you do that. Then Ruandra, you asked, is it an everyday training? So this this webinar, there'll be 15 of these webinars. It'll be the same webinar each time. So it is on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you'll be able to attend this, but the training you can access at any time. Michaela, you asked if you already started your training on the link, does it still qualify? Absolutely, it still qualifies. So please continue. Makanya, I'm not super sure. I understand your question. So Jen, maybe you can give Makanya our email address and we can help Makanya further. Joshua, you said, if I'm a sport and enrichment assistant as well as a curriculum assistant, should I do both training? Joshua, yes, you should. So you should do both training if you are 2 kinds of assistants. Jolene, the ECADA certificates, so far it is KITSO, NSSF, and orientation. Sisonke, we can give you the YouTube link. You'll be able to access it. Kanyiso, so you said you've made a mistake with the EMIS number. Please email us. So will you send an email with your details? We can help update your email, your EMIS number. Malvina, I'll show you the profile update now. Sinambasa, please, as many certificates as you can do. That's absolutely fine. There's a minimum number of certificates, but you can do a number of them. Yvonne, I will show you how to do the change now. And then Dwayne, you asked, how do you get hold of orientation? So you send that universal word, you send in hi to the WhatsApp bot, and then the orientation training will be there after you've registered. Yvonne, I will give you an opportunity now just to see how you change your name. What is here? Do we have to do everything you've said today must be done today? So Lorato, the training, you need to finish the training by the end of July. So you don't have to finish the training today, but you must finish the training at the end of July. Then Lungelo, you asked, can you register again if you're on a previous phase? Yes, but you need to reset your profile. So you need to have a look there. I'm going to pause on the questions now, and I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to show you some of the videos based on what we have just spoken about. So some of you may have seen these previously. Let me just close this now. So we spoke about resetting your profile. So if you have registered previously in a phase and you need to re-register, so you type in this word teacher, connect, clear. So please just make sure that the spelling is right and that there are no spaces. Then you wait until you get a response. Now it says your profile has been reset. Then you type in the word hi, and then you register again. So if you have been an assistant in a previous phase, this is how you would reset your profile. There was another question about how to change your assistant type. So one of the assistants there said that they had registered as the wrong kind of curriculum assistant, and then they needed to change. This is how you would change your profile. So again, you type in that word hi, just like on the screen. You say tap here, change your role. Then you would go to sports and enrichment because that's what I'm choosing now. And that is how you change your role. Okay. Now, how to find your certificates. So if you have done your training and you somehow delete your certificate and you need your certificate again, you type in the word hi. So hi, then you will get this menu. So you go into the list. See there, it says my certificates. Then you want to change your name. I want to say yes. Okay, so looking for your certificate. So I said yes, that's my name. There we go. That is my certificate now. Okay. So that is how you would change that. Now, if you want to, we said we would look at how to access the training. Type in the word hi, our universal word. Tap on the menu there. Now I want to say training, click training. And now I say I am ready to start. Okay, so then I've got here, I've said that I'm a sports and enrichment assistant. So this is the training that I need to do. Okay, I need to do orientation, digital literacy, and NSSF. That's the training that I need to do. So I want to say here, orientation. Maybe I've made a mistake. I'm not a sports and enrichment. I want to change my role. You can click there. You want to go and start orientation, you click there, and that is how you do the training. We have a few minutes left, so I want to show you what it looks like when you actually do the training. So I'm going to type in the word hi. Then I'm going to say next, because I have read this. I'm going to accept the privacy policy. You can see here I'm registering again. I'm a BEEI assistant. Then I'm going to put my first name in. So here I've said my name is Joe. Now I'm going to put my surname in. Let's say Smith. Okay, now I'm going to say yes, you can message me. Now I'm going to choose the type of assistant I am. So I am a reading champion. Now I put my EMIS number in, and again, please, your EMIS number you'll get from your teacher mentor or your principal. If you get stuck, please email us at BEEI@ecubed-DBE.org. You can always help you with your EMIS number if you get stuck and you can't get it from your principal. Now you want to put your ID number in. Remember, your ID number is just there to verify you against the list. That's the reason why we use it. And now you're going to choose what you're wanting to do. So I'm going to say I want to do training here. So I click training. And then I'm ready to start. Okay, so now I'm going to tap at the bottom there. I'm ready to do my orientation training. And say, yes, I'm ready. So this is just giving you some background into what the program is. It is helpful if you read through it. You can see I'm going quite quickly through this just with the video. But the important thing is that you read it, that you have a notebook that you can write down any questions that you have, any thoughts that you have. You might want to go and speak to your teacher mentor. You might want to speak to one of your colleagues about it, some of the other assistants. But write down any questions that you have. So we don't want malicious compliance. We don't want you to just click next, and get the certificate. There's important information in the orientation that you will be expected to know. At the end of every lesson, there is a quiz. So there are 5 lessons in the orientation training, and there is a quiz at the end of the training. So you can see here what we'll learn about. This shows you what is an education assistant, what are general assistants, how each of the roles play a part in supporting the school. So they're reading champions, ECADers, curriculum assistants, etc. And then there are other kinds of general assistants too. So this gives you a bit of information about your job profile. So once you've read through that, you would click next. Then this gives you an overview of what the reading champion needs to do. So what is the job description of a reading champion? What are the overall responsibilities of a reading champion? What are the overall responsibilities of an ECADer assistant? What are the responsibilities for curriculum assistant and then care and support? It's helpful if you understand what's required of you in the job, but also then you can see what is it that your other assistants should be doing. And we spoke earlier about what are you learning here? So if you are a laboratory assistant in this work experience, you can then write on your CV, I learned how to prepare science materials before the lesson. I supported the teacher. I supported the learner. I ensured lab safety. I helped with cleanup after lessons. So these are the things that you can actually write in your CV about what you learned in this work experience that you can use going forward. So we're just going to get to the end of this lesson. I see the hands, but please feel free to put the questions into the Q&A and I'll respond to it now. So once you've gone through the roles and responsibility, then these are the skills and qualities around for a successful time. So being a good communicator. So if you're thinking about, I'm going into the school, what do I need to do? So you need to be a good communicator. So learn how to talk to the teachers, learn how to speak to the learners. Having confidence is not something that comes easily to everybody. Some of us have to practice. And so find a way for you to practice that. In being flexible and adaptable. Things will change all the time. And how do you respond to those changes? So these are things that you can think about when you're going to school. To be a great assistant, this is what you need to be looking at. Are you a reliable person? So are you on time? Do you take the work experience seriously? Can your teacher depend on you? Can your principal depend on you? Are you good at problem solving? So we know that every day brings its own challenges. What are we doing to think creatively around how to solve these problems? And how are we supporting the teacher and supporting our principal and our colleagues in these problems that we have every day? And are you a good team member? So can teamwork be something that you can focus on? Are you working well with the teachers? Are you working well with the other staff? Are you working well with the learners? These are things that you will develop over the next couple of months. All of this is in your orientation training. So please don't worry if you aren't getting all of this right now. It is in the orientation training. Then there's some more information here about the qualifications required. And then here at the end of this lesson, there is a break. So you'll see there's a quiz here, and you can answer A, B, or C. So the answer was correct, and now you are ready for lesson 2. Between each lesson, you will see that there is a 1-minute pause. This is because we save your progress. So if something happens between the lesson and the phone rings, or you need to make a cup of tea or something else, and you come back, you don't have to start at the beginning. You can start at the beginning of the lesson where you left off, but please don't type anything in during this time. Please just leave it, wait for the message to arrive. It will come. It is exactly 60 seconds, and that is when your progress is saved. So I'm going to stop sharing these videos. I'm going to go back to as many questions as I can in the 3 minutes we have left. So Lena, you've asked how the certificates are going to assist you in the future. So just as I've spoken about now, you can talk about things that you learned as a specific assistant, and you can list out all of those things that you learned and that you accomplished in your time in the school. What is the overall role of the BEEI assistant? Bianca, you've asked that. Please go and look at the orientation training. That gives you the understanding of what your role is supposed to be. Denise, you've asked about a curriculum assistant only doing the foundation phase or the intermediate phase and FET. Please, you must do all of those curriculum assistant trainings. Matola, you've just said hi to us, so I'm going to say hi to you back in our amazing keywords, so thank you. Tulakele, you've asked about sports and enrichment. Which one does it belong to? I think if you go and do the orientation training, that will answer your question. So please, Tulakele, go and do the orientation training. Lena, you are most welcome. Thank you for answering the question. Our last question I'll take from Sandre. If you're taken on as an ICT, when is the training available? So it will be available in the next few weeks. If you have opted into the communication, I will send you the message. But in the meantime, please do the orientation and KITSO and NSSF. There is enough training there for you. Please send a link with the other 2 ECADIS training. So Jeline, I'm going to ask you to email us at that BEI email address so that I can respond to you there. And then Tabello, you've asked a question. Since you've been here, if you want to join us for another training session, please come back. But if you feel like you have everything you need for your training, you don't have to come back for another one. But if you have a question at a later time, please come back, join us at any point. We're there. And as always, you can email us at BEI at ecubed-dbe.org. There is a survey that's going to come onto your screen now as I close the call, and I'm going to say goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for all your questions. Thank you for your time this afternoon. I know it is a holiday and it is winter, and I appreciate you all being here. Please fill in the survey. It's very helpful for us all, and I wish you a wonderful afternoon. Goodbye, everybody.